Archangel Michael has an urgent message about a powerful shift happening right now with certain people in your life. You've been sensing something different lately. People who used to create drama are suddenly quiet, those who always had to. Be right are backing down from arguments, and individuals who never apologized are reaching out with awkward messages. These aren't random changes. Archangel Michael reveals that these people are finally experiencing a shocking awakening about their own toxic, ego-driven behavior. The divine mirror has been placed directly in front of them, and for the first time they're seeing their true reflection clearly. They're realizing how deeply their selfishness, manipulation, and need for control has damaged every relationship in their life. This uncomfortable truth is hitting them like a spiritual lightning bolt, and they can no longer deny or ignore what they've become. You may have noticed sudden apologies that feel strange, people avoiding conflicts they used to start, or defensive reactions followed by unusual silence. These are signs that their false persona is crumbling. The same awakening you went through months or years ago, that painful but necessary realization about toxic patterns, is now happening to them. Archangel Michael orchestrated this divine timing specifically for your healing and closure. Archangel Michael wants you to understand exactly what these people are finally seeing about themselves. For years, they operated from pure ego and selfishness, without realizing the destruction they caused. Their manipulation tactics are now crystal clear to them: the guilt trips, emotional blackmail, and constant blame. Shifting they used to control situations and people, they're seeing how their desperate need to always be right destroyed genuine connections and pushed away everyone who truly loved them. The way they dismissed your feelings, invalidated your experiences, and made every conversation about themselves is now glaringly obvious. They can no longer pretend they were just being honest or helpful when they were actually being cruel and self-serving. Their anger outbursts, silent treatments, and victim mentality are finally being recognized for what they really were: tools of manipulation and control. They're realizing that while they painted themselves as the injured party in every conflict, they were actually the ones causing the harm. The shock of seeing themselves as the toxic person in multiple relationships is overwhelming their ego defenses. This revelation is particularly devastating because they're understanding why people have been distancing themselves, why family members avoid their calls, and why friendships have ended abruptly. The common thread in all their failed relationships wasn't bad luck or other people's problems. It was their own toxic behavior patterns that they were completely blind to until now. Archangel Michael wants you to recognize the signs that this awakening is happening in the toxic people around you. You may have noticed sudden changes in their behavior patterns that feel completely out of character. Perhaps someone who never admitted fault is sending awkward messages trying to check in on you after months or years of silence. Or maybe they're making defensive comments about their past behavior, followed by unusual quiet periods where they seem lost in thought. Pay attention to their social media activity. Many are deleting old posts that showed their toxic patterns, changing their tone completely, or going silent online as they process this uncomfortable truth. Other people in your circle might mention that this person is going through something or acting differently in their interactions too. You might notice them becoming withdrawn, avoiding confrontations they used to seek out, or being overly nice in a way that feels forced and uncomfortable. Some are experiencing obvious signs of stress, changes in their appearance, nervous energy, or physical symptoms of the emotional turmoil they can't hide. Their attempts to justify past behavior while simultaneously trying to change create an awkward energy around them. They might make comments like, "I was just trying to help," or "I didn't mean it that way." but their tone suggests they're no longer convinced by their own excuses. The false confidence they once projected has been replaced by uncertainty and self-doubt. As their carefully constructed self-image crumbles before their eyes, Archangel Michael reveals the spiritual mechanics behind this sudden awakening. A powerful divine law has been activated that forces people to face their own toxic patterns when they reach a certain karmic threshold. This isn't random timing, it's divine intervention designed to accelerate healing for everyone involved. Your own healing journey created a mirror effect that reflected their behavior back to them. As you grew stronger and established boundaries, their manipulation tactics stopped working, forcing them to see their patterns clearly. The spiritual light you've been cultivating exposed the darkness in their approach to relationships. The universe conspired to show them their reflection through multiple sources. The same selfish, controlling behavior they exhibited toward you is now being directed at them by others. They're experiencing the dismissal, invalidation, and emotional manipulation they once dished out. This karmic mirroring is making them understand, for the first time, what it feels like to be on the receiving end of toxic behavior. Losing relationships due to their actions finally made them question if everyone else was really the problem. The moment they realized that if everyone in their life is difficult, maybe they are the common denominator, their ego defenses began cracking. Divine pressure has been building in their life through repeated patterns of isolation and conflict. Until they had no choice but to face reality, Archangel Michael orchestrated this timing to coincide with the collective spiritual awakening happening on Earth. People are being forced to evolve, or face increasingly difficult consequences. Those who refuse to examine their behavior are finding themselves more isolated and spiritually stuck, while those who embrace this uncomfortable growth are finally breaking free from their toxic patterns. Archangel Michael offers crucial guidance on protecting yourself during this delicate time. As these toxic people experience their awakening, many will attempt to reconnect with those they've hurt, seeking validation or forgiveness to ease their guilt. You must maintain strong spiritual boundaries even as they appear to be changing. Begin each day with this protection prayer. Archangel Michael, surround me with your blue shield of protection. Help me maintain healthy boundaries while extending compassion from a safe distance. Protect my energy from manipulation disguised as growth. Thank you for guiding my responses with wisdom. Recognize the difference between genuine change and performative behavior designed to win you back. Authentic transformation happens slowly and includes taking full responsibility without expecting immediate forgiveness. Be cautious of dramatic apologies that focus more on their pain than the harm they caused you when they attempt contact. Visualize Archangel Michael's blue light creating a protective barrier around you. This allows you to respond from a place of strength rather than old trauma patterns. You can acknowledge their growth without compromising your boundaries or entering toxic dynamics. The most important protection is trusting your intuition over their words. If something feels off about their approach, even if it sounds sincere, honor that feeling. Your spiritual discernment has been finely tuned through your healing journey. Use it. Create energetic shields through visualization before any necessary interactions. See yourself surrounded by mirrors that reflect their energy back to them while keeping yours protected. This prevents you from absorbing their guilt, shame, or attempts to make you responsible for their healing. Remember that forgiveness doesn't require reconciliation. You can release resentment for your own peace while maintaining distance for your protection. Don't allow guilt trips about giving them another chance to override your hard-won wisdom about healthy relationships. Archangel Michael wants you to understand the profound gift this situation represents for your own spiritual journey. Witnessing their awakening provides powerful validation for every difficult decision you made to protect yourself. The confirmation that your instincts about their toxic behavior were accurate brings deep healing to parts of you that may have doubted your perceptions. This divine timing offers closure to chapters of confusion and self-doubt. For too long, you may have wondered if you were too sensitive, too demanding, or somehow responsible for their behavior. Seeing them finally acknowledge their patterns proves that your decision to distance yourself was not only correct but spiritually guided. The wisdom you've developed through navigating toxic relationships is now being recognized by others who seek your guidance. Your ability to maintain boundaries while extending compassion demonstrates spiritual maturity that many admire. You've become someone who can spot manipulation quickly and respond from a place of strength rather than reactivity. This experience brings profound healing to your inner child who was once blamed, gaslit, and made to feel responsible for other people's emotions. Watching toxic people take accountability validates every moment you questioned reality or felt crazy because of their behavior. Your spiritual discernment has been perfectly calibrated through these challenging relationships. You now recognize red flags immediately and trust your intuition without second-guessing yourself. This gift of clarity protects you from future toxic encounters and guides you toward authentic, healthy connections. The divine timing of their awakening supports your continued ascension by removing any remaining energetic attachments to their drama and chaos. Archangel Michael reveals the difficult path these individuals must now walk alone. Their awakening is just the beginning of a humbling journey of genuine self-reflection and accountability. They must confront the reality of relationships they destroyed through selfishness, manipulation, and emotional abuse without expecting immediate forgiveness or reconciliation. The hardest part for their ego is admitting fault without being able to deflect blame onto others. They must sit with uncomfortable feelings of guilt and shame without their usual coping mechanisms of anger or victimhood. This internal work requires addressing the core wounds and trauma that created their toxic patterns in the first place. They're learning to develop genuine empathy for those they hurt, feeling the actual pain they caused rather than just intellectual understanding. Some relationships may never be repairable despite their newfound awareness, which is a devastating lesson in consequences and accountability. The challenge is doing this healing work for their own soul's evolution, not as a strategy to win people back. Many will struggle with this because their previous motivation was always external validation rather than internal growth. This awakening is ultimately a gift for their spiritual development, though it feels like punishment to their ego. Whether they embrace this opportunity for growth or resist, it will determine their spiritual trajectory moving forward. Archangel Michael confirms that this timing is divinely orchestrated for your highest good and spiritual advancement. The revelation of their toxic behavior awareness provides the closure and validation your soul needed to completely release any remaining attachments to these relationships. Maintain your boundaries during this sensitive time. Even as you witness their struggle with newfound awareness, your protection and peace remain the highest priority, and there's no spiritual obligation to help them through their awakening process. This divine intervention demonstrates the perfect timing of universal justice and healing. Trust that every difficult experience with toxic people was preparing you for this moment of vindication and spiritual victory. Continue using the protection practices Archangel Michael has provided. The blue light meditation, boundary visualizations, and daily prayers keep you aligned with divine guidance as you navigate any attempts at RECONNECTION. Show your appreciation for this divine revelation by giving super thanks up to $20. This Energy exchange maintains your connection to Archangel Michael's protection and ensures continued guidance during this important transition. Remember that witnessing their awakening is your signal that this chapter has officially ended. You've grown beyond their ability to harm you, and their recognition of their behavior confirms your spiritual maturity and wisdom. Trust in the perfect divine timing of all revelations and continue moving forward in your power.